Hello, everyone. I'm Blayne Gilmer. Welcome into Southeastern 14. Today, we are going to be going over 3 things that Bobby Petrino can do for the Arkansas offense to fix things going into 2024. The Arkansas offense was abysmal in 2023. Quite simply, did not produce anywhere near to the standard that Arkansas fans are used to, that people who just know good football were expecting there, because I'm just telling you, Arkansas did not run the football well. They did not protect the quarterback well, and they were not explosive in the passing game. And those are all, when you put them together, a recipe for a quagmire that drags down the overall results of your football team. So with that being said, we're going to bring you 3 things that Bobby Petrino can do in order to get this Arkansas offense fixed in 2024. But first, guys, we are a part of the Believe Network, and as a result, have a relationship with Bet Online as our betting partner here on the channel, and we want you to take advantage of a promo that they're offering, guys, with all of the major sports in action. As I'm recording this, it's the morning of the national championship game between Michigan and Washington. You can take advantage of lines on that. Also, the NFL playoffs are about to get cranked up. NBA is in midseason form. The NHL games are going on, and UFC fights are right around the corner. Guys, you can get the wagering info and news predictions, all of that from Bet Online on those sports that are going on right now. Head on over to the website betonline.ag to get into the action and see all of the updated odds for the contest there. It's important to stay up to date on those latest odds, guys. You can really find value there as injury news and stuff like that comes in. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV, all caps BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposits. Bet Online, where the game starts, and where we're going to start for Arkansas and Bobby Petrino on the first thing that he can fix to get this offense going the right way. It is the offensive line. And guys, whether it's the scheme or whether it is actually the players themselves, the personnel, it's probably going to be a mix of those 2 things when it comes to Arkansas across the offensive line. Now, famously, Dan Enos, as Sam Pittman came out and publicly said in a press conference, it was like, hey, we would practice things like moving the pocket, like doing things to help out our protection, and then we wouldn't do them in the game. And when that comes down to it, that's not good coaching. That's not putting your players in the best position to succeed, if that is indeed the case. And if Sam Pittman says it publicly, then who am I or anybody else to doubt what he's saying there? I still think Danny Enos is a fine person, a good football coach. He listen, if you're watching this and you're the average person, Danny knows more, has forgotten more football than you and I will ever know. Okay, he's a good, experienced college football coach. However, it just doesn't work out sometimes, and things for different reasons don't mesh. And he's been asked to move on, and now they've got Bobby Petrino in there, who returns to Arkansas, and the first order of business will be addressing that offensive line. Now, in terms of the personnel, you've got people like Brady Latham and Bo Limmer who have to make decisions on whether they're going to stay or go. I think they're going to lean towards leaving the program. You got Bo Limmer, who's playing in the East-West Shrine Bowl, so he hasn't declared for the NFL draft yet, could declare. Brady Latham, same thing. So let's just, for the sake of right now, say they're leaning towards going to the NFL. And you've brought in guys like Keyshawn Blackstock from Michigan State, Fernando Carmona from San Diego State, and Addison Nichols from Tennessee. Now, Nichols is not a guy who's going to give you a ton of experience. Blackstock, a little bit more experience. And, of course, Fernando Carmona has experience and has played at San Diego State, but he's jumping from the Group of Five level to the SEC. So that is something that'll have to be adjusted there. But I think the biggest way that Bobby Petrino can help out this offensive line is to bring a little bit more of an identity to the run game in terms of getting it downhill and what they've been able to do. Yes, I know that Rocket Sanders has left the program. AJ Green is moving on. But when you look at Arkansas, they've just added Jaquindon Jackson from Utah, a physical runner, a guy who is not afraid to get behind his pads and finish off runs. He's very willing and very adept at pass blocking as well. I think that is something that hurt Arkansas at times, was running back blitz pickup. But listen, they've got some guys in Rashad Dubinion and Dominic Johnson. I think now with Jaquindon Jackson, I'm not worried about the running back position. But I think you've got to have a mentality of, hey, we're going to get in some 12 personnel. We're going to utilize our tight ends that we have there, with Ty Washington coming back, with Luke Haas that's going to be back for Arkansas. And we're going to get in some big sets, and we're going to get under center some, because Bobby Petrino will do that. He won't just be shotgun all the time. He'll get his quarterback under center and let his running backs get 7-8 yards deep and get downhill and make the offensive line say, hey, we're just going to come off and tee off on you. Not necessarily, some of the ambiguity of the RPO system and stuff like that. Just say, no, it's time to run the football and get downhill. And also then help set up the play action with some max protection and stuff like that. 6-7 man protections off of play action that you're able to hit people deep on. All of this is a staple of Bobby Petrino's offense. He's a guy who wants to run the football effectively, wants to be physical in that run game, and wants to be lethal in the play action game. That's the first thing I think Bobby Petrino can do is, listen, they've addressed the offensive line in terms of personnel wise. There's still a couple of guys out there that Bobby Petrino and Arkansas are looking at in terms of Percy Lewis, a guy who's transferring from Mississippi State. He's still on the radar there for Arkansas. Micah Maskua from Florida is a guy that's looking to make an announcement here soon. So there could be even some more personnel decisions and things of that are coming up for Arkansas. However, when you look at things for the Razorbacks, I think being able to move the pocket, being able to have strong run game that sets up play action, that will go a long way to helping the offensive line there, because at times they were just having to pass protect and do it in the pocket. And there was some 5-man protections and things like that and going empty. And that's just not a good recipe when you've got guys who aren't elite pass blockers at that point in time. And I think Bobby Petrino will do things a little bit differently than Dan Enos did on that front. The second thing, Bobby Petrino has been known as a guy who's been able to develop quarterbacks, and he's also been with the track record of having Lamar Jackson and having guys who have been athletes. He's been able to take those guys who are really good athletes and help mold them into good quarterbacks by fixing their footwork and things of that nature. And Taylen Green, who is committed to Arkansas and is coming to Arkansas from Boise State. Taylen Green is an immensely talented quarterback, especially what he's able to do with his legs. He's a guy who is just a human highlight reel in terms of being able to do things outside the pocket and create. Did a tremendous job of that for Boise State, but he's not necessarily a high completion percentage, guys, and a lot of times that has to do with your feet. Yes, I know I just said his legs are a strength, but his feet are something that are going to have to be fixed. I think the same thing could be said for Jacoby Criswell, for Malachi Singleton. So whoever ends up being the quarterback, I believe it would be Taylen Green. I think he'll be the guy that ends up winning the job. It comes in because, guys, he's a guy that over the last 2 seasons has a combined 1,000 yards rushing for Boise State. And listen, he has been dynamic in the pass game, throwing for over 2,000 yards his junior year. Not as great of a year this year. Did have an injury that he had to work through there for Boise State, but led them to a Mountain West championship over UNLV there. So when it comes down to it, I think you're talking about a guy who can develop these quarterbacks, all three of them with athleticism, all three of them with different strengths. But I think Taylen Green's probably going to be that guy, and fixing the footwork of them inside the pocket and being able to kind of mesh up what Bobby Petrino wants to do with their skill set, with their strengths. I think that's something that Bobby Petrino will need to be able to do. Utilize the quarterback run game. You listen, Bobby Petrino is no stranger to being able to use some power read, use some zone read, some split zone bluff, things of that nature, and allow these quarterbacks to be able to create. But he's going to do it within his system, and I think he's going to go a long way towards helping that footwork in the pocket and footwork within the passing game for Taylen Green and these other quarterbacks for Arkansas. And that is number 2. And then number 3, instill confidence in these wide receivers. I think too many times there were these wide receivers, whether it was Andrew Armstrong, Isaac Teslaa, Isaiah Sategna, Jaden Wilson, I don't think these guys were put in positions or asked to run routes that necessarily fit what they do the best in terms of their strengths and things of that nature. Listen, it's important that you put players in positions to succeed. When people aren't getting, tremendous separation and things like that, then sometimes it's better to use what the defense is doing against them and give them options and say, hey, if the defense does this, this is what we're going to do. And it's going to make you right more often. And I think if they can get the quarterback and the receivers on the same page with these deep option routes. And what I mean by deep option routes, sometimes Bobby Petrino and his offense, you do not make a decision on what route you are going to run until you are 5-10 yards down the field. And I think that can be a big benefit for Arkansas with how he likes to do things, especially if it comes down to, hey, Arkansas has, they know you're going to play X coverage on this down early in the formation, and allowing guys to say, hey, I know what's coming here. I know where we're going to see. And even if they give us a different look, we've got plan B and C off of it. That's what these deep option routes allow you to do in Bobby Petrino's offense. Also, I think you're going to see a guy who is going to say, hey, we've got these big receivers that can go up and get the football. I don't think you're going to see Bobby Petrino hesitant to take these shots down the field either. So you've got these big-bodied receivers. You've got guys who are more quick twitch, and Isaiah Sategna, Jaden Wilson, these kind of things that are out there. They got Jordan Anthony, a speedster that transfers over from Texas A&M. So I think when it comes down to it, you're going to see Bobby Petrino mix around and create formational matchups, okay, whether it's bringing an Andrew Armstrong into the slot and putting him on a smaller defender and a safety, and then giving him one of those deep option routes, or whether it's using some of those bigger body guys to block out on the perimeter for Isaiah Sategna and use him in some of the jet sweep game and things of that nature. I think you're going to see Bobby Petrino do that and set up those wide receivers for success and give them some confidence early on. And I think that's something that was lacking in a lot of those guys who had a little bit of self-doubt, because a lot of those guys, whether it was, and Tyrone Broden's a guy who he's got a decision whether he's going to come back or not. But all these guys, the Armstrongs, the Teslaas, the Sategnas, all these guys were guys who had a little bit of self-doubt going into this, didn't know, are they good enough to produce at this level and things of that nature. And now they've got a year under their belt at this level of football. Just continue to build that confidence, find what the things that they do best, and then work them in that manner. And I think you'll see Bobby Petrino have a lot of success. Of course, the tight end position, Luke Haas, everybody knows what you have in him when he was not injured. He's a tremendous player, and Ty Washington as well. And I think I mentioned the 12 personnel in the run game to help get that established and going. Then I think off of that, you'll see Bobby Petrino not be scared to show some 12 personnel under center, play action, utilize those tight ends as well. So those are the three things in terms of get the run game going and create some max protection type stuff and move the pocket and play action, plus bring in those transfers on the offensive line. I think that'll help things out there. Fix the footwork of the quarterbacks within the pocket and within the passing game, whether it is Taylen Green or whether it's Jacoby Criswell or Malachi Singleton, but I think it'll be Taylen Green. Work on his footwork and really help his feet make him become a better passer, and then instill confidence. Number 3, instill confidence in the wide receivers by what they fitting that into your system, whether it is outs, whether it is things on the perimeter, whether it is that sweet pop that the tight ends and 12 personnel, instill confidence in that passing game early on and mesh what you like to do, Bobby Petrino, with the skill set of those receivers. I think those 3 things will help fix Arkansas's offense in 20. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Thank you so much for tuning in here to Southeastern 14, and we'll catch you guys next time to talk more Arkansas football and SEC football right here on Southeastern 14, presented by Bet Online.